FM News Center. Minister for National Disaster Management Office, Sakyasi Nditoka, is currently visiting some evacuation centers and confirms that district officers will be engaged to ensure emergency ration packs are provided to those in need at the centers. Nditoka confirms that he is currently at Maslin Primary School in Batuanga to ensure assistance is well coordinated and provided to the families needing help at the center. He says they will also check other centers like Maris Champagne Institute. The Toka says, according to the National Disaster Management Act, the government is required to provide rations to affected families after 48 hours. However, they are already on the ground assessing the situation and ensuring the people get the required help. The advice to families moving to the evacuation centers includes them moving with their basic needs until the weather system passes their area. Groups are also gathering contributions for about 50 families from Nanuku settlement in Vatuanga who are currently sheltering at Maslin Primary School. They say they need items like flour, sugar, biscuits, noodles, onions, rice, canned food, and diapers. Stay with us for developments. And acting Prime Minister Professor Biman Prasad says Minister for National Disaster Management Sakyasi Nditoka, who is leading the government operations relating to Tropical Cyclone Mel, is doing a fantastic job, and people can see the efficient and effective delivery of services while reacting to questions regarding the criticisms by Fiji First MP Ketan Lal that all of the ministers should be fired as they were busy drinking grog while the people were suffering and preparing for the worst. Professor Prasad says all arrangements were in place and 182 evacuation centers are active. He also says this is probably the first time after so many years that we can see a government that is clearly focused on making sure that they inform the public in the most effective way, and their communication has been very efficient. Professor Prasad says people can see the NDMO is very well prepared in disaster preparedness and response. He says comments coming from Ketan Lal are wildly foolish, reckless, and uncontrolled. A meeting is currently underway and we expect further announcements this afternoon. Ketan Lal shared a post of the Attorney General Siromi Turanga where he said he made a brief visit to the headquarters of Ministry of Rural and Maritime Development and Disaster Management yesterday afternoon after meeting of permanent secretaries of the Emergency Committee. The post had photos of the Attorney General and the Minister for Disaster Management having some grog with other officials. Lal says we should give them the award of Coalition Groggy Ministers for 2023. He says people are already affected, and now you see the two ministers drinking grog. The center of severe tropical cyclone Mel is located 90 kilometers south-southwest of Kandavu and is moving away from the Fiji group. Acting Director of the Nadi Weather Office, Bipen Prakash, says conditions over the country is now improving, but some of the warnings are still in place, especially over Vatulele, Kandavu, and nearby smaller islands with a storm wind warning. Strong winds have now eased in the Western Division. Conditions are likely to ease by later today in areas that are still experiencing the impacts of TC Mel. A flash flood alert is in force for flash flood prone areas, small streams, and low lying areas of Viti Levu, while a heavy rain warning is in place for the Western Division, Serua, Namosi, Vatulele, Kandavu, and nearby smaller islands. An active trough of low pressure with associated cloud and rain will continue to affect the country. Looking at infrastructure, Queens and Kings roads are now open. The Fiji Roads Authority says their contractor has cleared the fallen trees in Rakiraki and Nandronga. Their current task is to continue clearing trees along the secondary and local collector roads. FRA says to ensure the well-being of yourself and that of emergency services. They strongly advise against any non-essential travel at this time. Contractors are clearing blocked roads in the Western Division at Varandoli Cemetery Road and Korovuto Road in Ba, where fallen trees had blocked the carriageway, and they have contacted EFL to isolate power supply. Kings Road near Nambo School in Rakiraki is open to only one lane. Nambukaluka and Delai Lasakau in Naitasiri are closed due to fallen power lines, while Nairukuruku Road and the road to Waima Crossing are closed to all traffic due to flooding. FRA says the fallen trees on Princess Road near Dholoisuva have been cleared and the road is open to all traffic, while they have also cleared the fallen tree at Wainumbokasi in Nausori. As TC Mel continues to move slowly out of the country, villagers of Navotua in Yasawa are grateful that no one was injured or any major damages were incurred compared to previous cyclones. Catholic Church steward Sione Sanrugu says they're currently clearing up other villages, but their major concern now is the shortage of food supply. He says most of their root crops, such as cassava, ndalo, and vundi, have been damaged, and they're hoping that assistance from relevant authorities will be provided soon. Mana SDA Primary School head teacher Malakai Turangakula is thankful that there was no loss of life when Category 3 Tropical Cyclone Mel passed the Yasawa group. While speaking to Fiji Village News, Turangakula says the villagers had prepared well for the cyclone. He says there was no infrastructural damage on the island as their water pump is still running. However, the only damage was to their farms. Turangakula said they had told the villagers on Sunday that the school would be used as an evacuation center and anyone could use it if they felt unsafe. The provincial administrator of Nanronga, Navosa Vatia Vasudha, says there are more than 300 people in 10 active evacuation centers around Singatoka. He has said there has been no major damages in Singatoka, and the evacuees came to the centers as they felt that they were not safe to face a cyclone in their own homes. And as we've told you that the fallen trees are currently being cleared up, there were some fallen trees in Sambeto as well, and that has been cleared up as well. Just looking at Kandavu, Kandavu is currently experiencing strong winds and heavy rain. Richmond Methodist High School teacher Chokaveti Sorokivei says 100 students, teachers, and villagers have relocated to the evacuation center at the school. Sorokivei says the safety of the students is paramount, and therefore they are trying their best to keep them safe during this period. She says some of the roofing iron is about to be ripped off due to the strength of the winds. She also says the evacuation center is also sheltering people from the villages of Tokalau and Korvo. That's the latest so far, what we have received from the National Disaster Management Office is that the meeting is still underway, and that is the one chaired by the acting Prime Minister, Professor Biman Prasad. We expect full details in relation to further actions by the NDMO in a press conference scheduled for 3 o'clock this afternoon. That will be live on our Fiji Village Facebook page. Stay with us for that, and we'll have details on it later this afternoon. We also have confirmation from the Nandi Weather Office that the tropical cyclone Mel has been downgraded to a Category 2 system. So as it exits, still in open seas, exits the Fiji group in the next few hours, it has also lost its strength. A large system, if you see the images, as the satellite images that were provided earlier today from this morning, that thankfully the system continued to stay out in open seas, and the worst of it was not felt by the residents up in Yasawa, in Mamanudas, in Vanuatu, and in Vitilevu. And we're hoping that the worst of it is not felt by the people in Kandavu. Stay with us for developments.